everyone. Hi and welcome on in to Adobe Live. This is Let's InDesign and I'm your host Anika, and I'm so glad that you could join me here again for episode 2 of Let's InDesign. Thank you for being here. If you're joining me both on YouTube or on Behance, thanks a lot. I appreciate you spending your time here with us on YouTube and Behance. Hey, I said that already. If you missed the streams before us, I know Claudia was doing the how-to and it was a wonderful episode for making seamless patterns in Adobe Illustrator. Make sure to watch the replay for any of the streams you missed during the day. I love that you all choose to be here and spend time with us, give us your useful comments and feedback. And with that said, I can't wait to show you guys what I created with the episode 1. If you missed the first episode, it is up on YouTube and also on my website. I will jump to that real quick, but before that, I want to tell everybody that this is a live stream, so there's a live chat. Hey, hello, hi, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. Hi. Is this ASMR talk yet? No. Okay, let me say hi to the chat real quick and we will jump into looking at my screen. So I want to say hi to Rob. We have Cody. Thank you for moderating, Cody. We have Stuart, Steve, Bliss, Misty, Carol, Umacon, Rob again, Steve again. Hey, Clever, Joshua. Hi, welcome on in everyone. Thanks for being here. Let me know where you're tuning in from so that I can say hello in your language if I speak it. All right, without further ado, I want to talk about what's going on for today. We're going to explore interactivity in Adobe InDesign, and I'm super pumped because I feel like that's one of the less explored features in InDesign. We all talk about data merge. We all know that InDesign is very powerful and we can use data merge and use all of those fun things, which I'm going to dive into maybe next week or the week after. I don't know yet. But we are going to do interactivity today, so I'm going to reuse my product catalog that I created last time. And with that said, let me jump into it really quick. Here you go. That's how the product catalog looks like, and this is what we created. We created inspire designs because we are inspiring here, furniture. And I see Biola. Hey Biola, welcome on in. No worries that you're lurking. I love the lurkers equally, don't worry. All right, so here's a quick recap of what we created. I have pressed W for my overprint view just to see what we have. I'm going to put these on the side on my other screen just so that you can look at everything really quickly. Press Command 0 on my screen and there you go. And I today have shortcuts and my pointer, so you can see where my cursor is, you can see where the keyboard shortcuts are and whatever I'm pressing on the keyboard. So I can't hide anything, you know. I can't lie to you. We never do that. All right, so with that said, this is how it looks like, and we created this. Oh, the font is really messed up here. We're gonna take a look at that later. The leading here is super messed up. We're gonna fix that. And I went ahead and added these beautiful images for our catalog. We have this, and with that said, I feel like this is a little bit lagging, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to my view, go to display performance and make it a typical display so that these images are a little bit of a low resolution, just because I'm also streaming right now and it's like I want these to load up really quickly. So what I can do is I can go to view, go to display performance. If I do fast display, it's just gonna go away and we don't want that. So I'm just going to go typical display. I usually work with high quality display just because I want to see how it's going to look in the final PDF. But here are the images. This is how the spread looks like for now. I did add some extra images here, but today we're going to add some buttons and interactivity and hyperlinks and all of the fun stuff. But before we dive into it, I do want to bring all of this here so that I can show you what images we're going to use. So we have these chair images that I'm going to use maybe in 5 as well. I don't know if you all know, and if you're new to InDesign or in 5 or you don't know what that is, N5 is essentially a plugin that you can download for InDesign, and you can use it to export interactive PDFs, and that can be viewed on the web anywhere. So it uses HTML and CSS to export all of the interactivity that you've created, and you can use buttons and animation and like fade in, fly out, all of the fun stuff. So these are all of the images that I'm going to use for my buttons today. And yeah, let's jump into it. Let's go ahead and create something, because why not, right? So I have Ryan is here. Hey Ryan, what's up? How you doing? I love that all the friends are here in chat. Thank you for being here again. Did I say that? Okay, let me bring everything in here. Hello, hello. Where are my panels? I don't know. In the chat, let me know if you're someone whose panels are like just always flyaways, or like are they dogged? Like, are you a flyaway panel person or are you a dogged panel person? Let me know. Steve in the chat says N5 rocks. Yeah, N5 does rock, and it is free on the CC app. Thank you for mentioning that. If you do not know where you can find N5, you can go to Window and click on Find Extensions on Exchange. That's going to redirect you to the Adobe Creative Cloud website, the Exchange website, where you can find plugins, and you can find all of these plugins. Some are priced, some are free, and you can go ahead and filter it with InDesign. You click this guy and you can search N5 here as well. So you click N5 and it is free to use. It's by HR Productions. And we have this here. I have previously downloaded it. You can also see it in your Creative Cloud desktop app. So yeah, either of those things, and you can click on download and use it. Once you have that downloaded, this is how your N5 plugin looks like. There's a panel up top, and you can use, there are free and Pro Plus. They have a subscription model where you can use the basic interactive widgets for free, and there's a Pro Plus, there's a Gold Plus, and an Elite Plus as well. I love that. Ryan in the chat says, my panels are all out of control. It drives me insane. I love okay, so this is a follow-up question to all the people who have their panels just everywhere like me. Like, my panels are like flyaway. Whenever I close my apps and then I reopen them the next day, I don't know where the panels are because I use two screens. So it's probably on a different screen. All right, I'm gonna put this on the side just because I want to see the text more clearly. So I have this layer which is clearly not organized, but we're gonna add more stuff here. All right, we have the buttons and form and the object states, which is what we're gonna use today. But before that, I want to give you a very quick tip about color themes and how I can add like tabs, or like, like when you open a spread or a layout, there's like color coded for the sections of the section of the magazine, which is what we're gonna add. Okay, so but I wanted to have the color of the image that we've picked up. So instead of using like an eyedropper, I just wanted to use all the swatches from this image. So I'm going to use the Adobe Capture plugin to get colors for this image. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to double click into this and right click and click extract from image. And the Adobe Capture plugin is actually inbuilt. So you can go ahead and get color themes, shapes, or type here. So I'm going to use color themes, and really quickly this pops up my CC libraries that's loading right now, and also my color theme panel, which I can't see. Hold on a second. Oh, it's loading. Oh, this is the wrong CC. This is the wrong CC library, but it's fine. It's just for demonstration purposes. So you can go ahead and, just as you use the Adobe Capture plugin on the app or on the web version or in Photoshop, you can change the color mode here, and you can change it with colorful, bright, muted, deep, dark, and none. So with none, you can go ahead and make it all manual, and you can select whatever you want, right? I'm gonna go with colorful because I want some colors that are really vibrant, and I love that we can do this. So as you click on CC libraries, the CC library that's opened up here is the one that's gonna have this color swatches saved. So I'm gonna have this color theme saved here, and it redirects me and shows me that, hey, we've saved this on your CC library. That was the last used CC library. A good tip here would be to open the CC library that you want your stuff in. So I'm gonna create a new one right now. I'm gonna click on create new library and call it Let's InDesign, because that's the name of our show. If you've missed it, we go create, and now I'm gonna go back ahead into one of the other images and maybe extract, like, because I want to show you the power of the Adobe Capture plugin, I'm gonna right click this again and click extract from image and select shapes. Now this time you can extract vector shapes from your images, and this is the vector black and white version of your image, and it's beautiful. It's very handy dandy. And we can increase the detail, we can decrease the detail. If you've ever used the image trace function from Adobe Illustrator, this is typically the same thing. And you can click on smooth on save. This usually use more processor, so I'm not gonna click on that. You can also invert it, so you can maybe make like an illustration out of this based on this, all of the fun stuff. It's super good. Okay, let's see if I have any questions in chat. Oliver says always dog. Nima says dog. Christian says dog. Dock it good. Mine are dogged. Everybody's in the docking game. Like, I can't dock my panels ever. I don't know how you all do it. Okay, Rob says, what version of InDesign did N5 become available? I am not sure about that, but let me go quickly check it. Let's see if we can find it here. So now it's saved to the CC libraries, and you can see that this guy is right here. I can click and drag him out, and we have that image right here. So I'm gonna close this up real quick, and this is literally the vector version of this image. Like, isn't that cool? You can do that with one click within Adobe InDesign. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna check the N5 version really quickly and then get back to you, Rob. Thank you for your question. And Steve says 2 ago, I think. Okay, all right. Steve has already answered. Thank you, Steve. Love that. This is why I love the community. Okay. This says, that's why I keep my panels dogged. Multiple monitors ruin my dreams of a dog life. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, all right. Let's jump in. We're getting sidetracked. Okay, let's see what we have to do. I have like this huge list of things to do, but the first thing that we're gonna do is add a button here so that we can click on it and jump into something like this link. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this layer on the side. This is so many panels. I'm gonna create like a rectangular shape here, and maybe give it a color that we created from our library. So I'm going to open up CC libraries again and bring it the library that we use. So that was this one. I'm going to hide these images really quickly. Hold on a second. Hold on. CC libraries. Okay, there's too much in this library, but I can select a button color. Maybe I'll select this one, or perhaps this one. Yeah, this looks good. And then I can just use this button here. And now I want to give it some text. So what I want to do is create a button which says learn more, and that's going to redirect you to a link. So I'm going to create a text box here and says learn more. And now I can apply a style to it. So I previously created paragraph styles, and I'm going to go apply those styles to it. So I'm going to open up my panel here really quickly. And we have some paragraph styles here. I'm going to bring the properties up here, and you can see that this has a basic paragraph style. Also, before I actually talk about this, I want to address something really quickly. Let's see here. Where is it? Okay, so whenever you're creating paragraph styles, remember one important thing. This is a pro tip right here. When you're creating paragraph styles, don't base it off of your basic paragraph style, because you might have a different font as your default font in your Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, whatever you're using, and someone else might have something else as a default font. Maybe I have Minion Pro, someone else has Helvetica, right? So if you base it off of the default paragraph style, it's gonna mess everything up in your layout. So make sure to use another font as the primary font for your paragraph style, and then base off other styles of it, if that makes sense. And you can also create nested styles like this, and they will work perfectly fine. All right, let's jump back. All right, that was really important. I really wanted to talk about that. I also see that you cannot see my links. I'm gonna put myself on the other side. Okay, cool. Yeah, Ryan is loving the tips. Thank you so much. And thanks, Steve, for sending that link. Terry White also does amazing InDesign stuff. So yeah, don't forget to check out those streams. All right, so I'm going to check if this, I think headline might be too big. So I'm just going to use this 18-point secondary text. And yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. I am going to bring it a little bit smaller, make it size down. And yeah, I think this looks good. I'm gonna center it up. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, and then I'm gonna align it. Where am I just always forget that properties are right here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna align it using the align panel, and then I'm gonna select these two and press Command G for grouping this, and then I'm gonna go to my buttons panel and create feel like this is not centered. Yeah, it doesn't look optically centered for some reason. It's fine. It's okay. I'm going to let my OCD not play here. Okay, so the first button we create, we have the buttons and forms panel right here. But if you don't have it, you can go to Window, Interactive, and click on buttons and form. If I click on it, it disappears because it was already open. So if you click on it again, it hides it, right? So I click on buttons, Window, Interactive, buttons and forms, and it reappears again. So we have this group, which is what I want to make into a button. I'm going to transform it into a button. So I'm going to go to my buttons and forms panel right here, go to type, click on button because that's what I want. Give it a name, a learn more button. and maybe perhaps a page number. So I'm gonna see what page we're on. We're on page 13. So I'm gonna say learn more button, and give it like a name here. Page. Wait, what is wrong? Yeah, page 13. And I'm going to click, I'm going to use on release or tab. There are various things that you can use, like events that you can create for buttons. You can create on release or tab, on click, roll over, roll off, on focus, on blur. I feel like most people get confused between on release or tap and on click. It's usually better to use on release or tap, because you have the option to click away from it if you change your mind last minute, or like, hey, I would not want to click on this, right? You go back, and then you have an action here. You can choose any of these actions from here. You can go to destination, go to first page. You can go inside your PDF file. So you can go to first page, last page, next page, go to URL is what we're going to select, and we're going to make it into a URL. For this purpose, I'm just going to relink it back to my InDesign file. So I'm going to quickly go to publish online and get the link. So I'm going to click publish just for the sake of the link. And yeah, we're gonna put that URL right here. So it's just gonna redirect it to the online version of our document. All right, so I'm gonna publish this online and see what it looks like. So we're uploading our document. It's taking a second here. And let's see, we have Claudie in the chat. Hey Claudie, how you doing? That was an amazing stream that we did earlier. If you did not watch the stream, make sure to watch the replay for Claudie's stream, which was right before mine. I'm gonna paste the link for the online document here, and this is how the lookbook looks like. So we have everything here. The paragraph style's a little messed up here, which I'm gonna fix, but this is how it looks like. So when I click on this learn more button, it's gonna essentially bring up this PDF file. That's how it should work. I'm gonna close this and put in the URL link here. And yeah, let's see if this works. So how do you see if this works? You can go to window and go to interactive again, and you have this really cool EPUB interactivity preview that you can click and find out if it's actually working. This is the panel that looks like this, and this is essentially your document. You click on this button and it's going to reopen the link because we had it open. It's going to open the link that was created with the button, and it's going to open it in your default browser. My default browser is Chrome, so it went ahead and opened the lookbook that we created. We just published it online, and that's what we used here. So if you want to check it again, you click on the button and that's what it does. I love that it was like super easy. We did this in 5 minutes, and that's how easy it is to add hyperlinks. We created a button. You just made it beautiful. I mean, I could always just write learn more and make it, like make it right click into it. There's another way to add hyperlinks in your documents, which I'm going to add really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and add this text. I'm going to press Command V and paste it here. And now I'm going to change the paragraph style to a black just because I want to see it on the white. And now I can just make a hyperlink for this guy. So I'm going to right click and select all the text, right click it. And in this menu, I just right clicked it. There's a panel, there's an option called hyperlinks, and you can create a new hyperlink or a new hyperlink from URL. I'm going to click new hyperlink because it pops up this dialog box, and it's going to give me the same place. Oh, I did not have that on my paste board. Oops, that was bad. Okay, I'm going to paste this here, and so it's just going to give you the same thing. Now this one does not have, it's not more, I mean, the whole idea is to make it work for the design and the layout. That is why I created the button, and this is just an hyperlink. So just a hyperlink. You can change the style of it. By default, it gives you an underline that you can see here. You can create rectangles, a visible rectangle or an invisible rectangle around it. You can highlight it as well. So you can invert the highlight, you can outline it. You can mess around with all of these options on your own time. I'm going to click OK, and then it gives me the default, which is the blue color. So now I have these two buttons and they do the same thing. So why don't we hit Command Save. Lurkers, hello, this is your time, and reminder to save your work. But I'm going to go ahead and go to interactive, EPUB interactivity preview, just to see it again and see how that looks. Now, obviously this looks much better, but I'm going to click on the right one and just see if that is working. the same. It does the same thing, but it is your choice how you want to add interactivity to your product, how you want it to look. And if you prefer this guy, great, it works more cohesively with the design. But if you think that it's a CV or a resume, you're making something that needs more visible links, then you can click this one and make something like that. All right, that's two ways to create hyperlinks in Adobe InDesign, and also buttons. I'm going to delete this one just because I feel like this makes it more cohesive. I'm going to click this and also select a color. So I do not think that I have that on my swatches, but I am just going to go here and select this and see if I have it on my swatches. Yeah, there you go. That's the one that we made for the color swatch. I think, sorry, hold on. Let me see if I have it on my swatches. I should have it if I saved it from my color theme. So I have it here, dark theme, and we have all the swatches that we saved from the Adobe Capture plugin. So I'm just gonna use this brown and see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I think that looks pretty fun. I'm gonna select this guy as well. I think this is from the master page, so I don't want to override it right now. And let's put it on the side. All right, so we learned how to create how to use the Adobe Capture plugin and use color themes, shapes, and also type. I'm going to talk about that in a second. We learned how to add hyperlinks and create buttons. And now I'm going to talk about what all is there in the interactivity panel. There's animation, bookmarks, buttons, and forms. We learned about buttons and forms and EPUB productivity interactivity preview. We talked hyperlinks. I'm going to talk about object states and animations real quick, but let's do that by adding some information here. So we have colorful silhouettes here, and we have stuff here going on, and I want to see the chat real quick to see if I missed any questions. Claudie, thank you, Claudie, for joining. Yeah, it was lovely to have you here for a short while, and I hope you sleep well. Good night. We have a question from Misty here that asks, can you use the same file to print and to e-publish? You can use it with the print file, whatever you create at the last. So if there's animation in your buttons, or there's a state of an object that you have created for the interactive version, only the final state will be visible on the print version. I'm going to show you how that looks once we get into that. But yes, you can use the same file. There will be no interactivity for the print file, but you can use the same file. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we have some colorful, I think we are in the elevated expressions. Okay, so we have some of these chairs that I was talking about earlier. We have this chair information here, and I just want to add these as like buttons here, and I want to use that to make something fun. Okay, let's see. I'm checking my list real quick. All right. So I'm going to press W to see everything. We have stuff happening here. I'm going to make some frames. So I'm going to click on the rectangular frame. And now this, okay, pay attention, guys. Pay attention, folks. Let me know if you knew this. I'm going to click and hold it to the size that I want. And I'm not going to leave my cursor, but I'm going to press the up and down arrow key. If I press the up arrow keys, it's going to create more number of frames. I haven't left the cursor, it's right here, and I can change how it looks. I can press the up arrow key to add more frames, down arrow key to delete more frames. If I press the right arrow key, it's going to add more columns, and you can also change the spacing between these if you hold command and press the arrow key. So command left is decreasing it, command right is increasing it. You can press command up to increase the space and command down to decrease the space. Now, if you're using InDesign on a Windows device, everything that I use for command is control for you, and option is alt for me. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you knew how to do this. I'm really interested. Okay, so I'm gonna make 4 for now, and I just created these frames. Super easy for us to create these frames, and now I'm gonna add our images to it. Okay, so we have all these frames right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my layers panel really quickly, which is right over here. I'm gonna bring it in, and then I'm gonna add these to our second layer just because I wanna have clarity in our design. So I'm gonna add chair images. Okay, so I'm going to give it a name. We have images here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add an image right here. So I have this column right here, and I'm going to click and drag. We have this guy, we have this guy, we have 3, and we have 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and press Shift Option Command C. It's going to center it into the frame. I can also use the content aware fit right here. So if I click this guy, it's going to make it a very cool. Adobe Sensei is going to use it and make it the best possible outcome for the frame. So clearly this is not what we want. So we can go ahead and make it our own, which is why we have the option of using it constructively, right? So I think this looks pretty cool. I think this looks pretty cool. We will, and yeah, great tip from Rob. That is, yes, Rob says you have to be careful with using an interactive design file as a print file. Interactive, your default color space is RGB, and once you produce, any black text will be 4-color black. Yes, make sure to have the right color, the color profile when you're using print files. Thank you for mentioning that. Rob, yes, Misty, if you are using the same file for print, make sure to convert it and see how your colors look and if your file is perfect for print before you actually give it out. And yes, all right. Thank you so much for addressing that. Oliver says, I knew this. I learned it from Mr. Hammer. And Steve says, InDesign has so many cool little tools. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so we have all of these frames right here. And what I want to do is create states for these. So when I say states is essentially, let's go back here. Let's talk about states. Okay, so what are states? Basically, what are states? States basically let you create multiple versions of the same thing. So if you have an image in your rectangular frame, you want state 1 to be like a lighter color of the state, and when you click on it, it needs to be 100% opacity. That's when object states come into picture, which we're going to dive into right now. You can use those object states to create variation in your design. So let's go jump ahead and bring back in and create states. So we have this guy. I'm going to click on our, I'm actually going to select all of these and change the opacity for this. I'm going to select 50% here, and I'm going to dim these down. What I'm going to do is essentially just copy paste this. I'm going to press Command C, and then I'm going to press Command Option Shift V, which is going to paste in place. We were talking about that earlier in the stream. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the opacity to 100% again. So what I want is to have the 50% image already there on the screen. I don't want it to disappear. So I just want like 50% dim version right there. With that said, I do want it to, I do want this to be a button. So let's go ahead and create text here for these buttons. I'm going to go ahead and create a text box here. Let's go ahead and add our information. So I have our information here, right? Somewhere here. Okay, hold on a sec. The first one is a lounge chair. So I'm going to paste this guy here and get this. I'm going to add a style to it. We have our style here. I'm going to add some text, overlay text here. I'm going to copy this here and paste our text, and I'm going to add our paragraph style. I think this is the one that we want. Yeah, this works fine for our work today. And then I'm going to keep it here. I think I want to add a master page to it. So I'm going to add maybe this one is what I want. So we have this guy. Yeah. And then I can just override this document. So I have the C parent page, which essentially has information for the ones that I used earlier. I just want like cohesiveness and consistency in my design. So I just use that. And this is going to help me gauge where I want to place this information. And then I can override this information. So I'm going to press Command C. I'm going to delete this guy, and I'm going to press Shift Option Command C, Shift Command and click. I'm going to undo. Shift Command and click this text box that I got from my master page. I'm going to click into it and paste my information. Okay, so we have this here, and I think there's an issue here. So I'm going to bring it out. Hold on a second. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yes, perfect. Yeah, we have a chat going on about print, and I love it. Okay, cool. Yes, Misty, that's how you would do it. You would start for print and then add interactive elements. You would essentially save another file for it, but you can use the same file. It's just a copy of the file. So yes. Okay, all right. So we have this information, and this is for the first guy, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and add this onto another layer just because I want it on a different layer. I just want this information to be on a different layer. So I'm gonna, wow, that's cap. I did not mean to use uppercase, but let's go ahead and add other information here as well. So we have a gray upholstered chair right here. I'm going to go ahead and actually create a copy of this. Why is this on the cover? Oh, okay. So I'm going to create a copy of this, and then I'm going to group this. So you can just press Command G, And this is the group that we created. I'm going to do this really quickly because we might run out of time. Oh, 30 minutes in. Okay, not too bad. All right, I'm going to double click and then I'm going to rename lounge chair. Okay, and then I am going to log this up and then I'm going to press shift option command V to paste it on top. And now I can add my other information. So what essentially my plan is with this is when you click on any of these images, it's going to trigger this information and it's going to come into the screen and you can see more about it. So we have our upholstered chair here. I'm going to bring it down. We can change the leading later on. This is just to show how you can add interactivity in your projects. And then I can bring it here, information. And now I can select these two, Command G, Command G, and that gives me another group. And this is group 2. So this is gray upholstered chair. And then I am going to click this guy. And select it, copy it, and lock it. And then I can paste. Oh, this had a 1 into it. I didn't want that. Didn't want the numbering. It's essentially from the file that I'm copying it. It's a pages file, so it's essentially getting all of that. Okay, so we have this, and then I'm going to paste it in front. So I'm going to paste shift option command C. I'm going to look at chat again just because I am very pressed for time here because I want to show everything. So I am not looking at chat as much. But if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. I am looking at chat intermittently. So if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. Rob says, yes, that's our workflow as well. Create a correct for print file and then make an interactive doc. Yes, thank you for confirming. Everyone in the chat is super helpful and useful. So I love that we have so many friends that are actually InDesign lovers. I love it. Okay, molded plastic chair is what we have. Okay, and then I'm gonna lock it again. And then I am, oh my God, this still has numbering. I'm trying to do this super quick. Okay, and then we have command option, paste V. I'm gonna redo the whole thing. So it's essentially doing the same thing. And then I'm gonna paste it. I think this one also has some numbering. Yeah, right there. And then we have some information, body copy here, and we're gonna group this as well. And this last one is a plastic side chair. Okay, cool. Okay, let me see if there are any questions. Looking in chat, thanks everyone, so helpful. I use non-printing outline text in pink for big blatant notes like that. Love it. Okay, love that. Yes, thank you so much. All right, cool. Now we have all of our information here, but I think that this is in the wrong order. So I want to put it in the layers, in the layer panel in the order that I want it to appear. Right now, lounge chair is the bottom of the layer right here, like right here. You can see that it is the last layer in the layers panel, but I want it to be stacked on top. So what I'm going to do is bring it up top. I'm going to open all of these. I can bring this up top. Then there's the gray upholstered chair and the molded plastic chair. Then comes the plastic side chair. What I want to do is create a multi-state object here now, and you can create it in the object states panel. What I want to do is go to window, go to interactive, and click on object states, which is going to pop up this panel. We just talked about multi-state objects. It's just creating multiple states for the same thing. So we want the information to be displayed right here on button click, but we want it to be in the same location and we want it to be replaced by the second button, right? So what we do is create a multi-state object. We select everything. You see that all of these 4 groups that we just created are selected here. And you see that there's a plus button right here. You can convert the selection to a multiple state object. You click on the plus button and immediately you see that there's only one thing displayed here. You see that there's a multiple state here. Everything in the layers panel went back. I'm going to do this one more time because I feel like you guys probably missed it the first time. Over here, the layers panel has 4 things, right? The 4 groups that we created, and the object states has nothing. But if we select all, we see that everything is selected here from the layers panel. I am going to click on the plus button right here, and now the layers panel only has multi-state 8, which is essentially the multiple state object that we just created. I'm going to rename this as chair description. So I'm going to do that. And if I click on this, it changes. What? How cool is that? So you can essentially change the state of the object here when clicking on it. And with the click of a button, when we make these into buttons, you can essentially trigger these multiple states of the objects. Isn't that cool? Do you guys use this? Do you guys ever use multiple state objects? All right, so I'm going to click on this button really quickly, and then this frame really quickly, and give it a button, make it a button. So I'm going to make it a button. I'm going to call it chair 1 just for ease of purposes. I'm going to create an action and click on go to state. And the state that I'm going to create a multiple state object for this as well, because I want this to trigger the same thing. And since there are 4 descriptions, there are 4 images. So I'm going to create a group out of this. Hold on. Select this group. And we have this guy. It's going to flip through all of these images in the same order. So I'm going to make sure that these are in the same order. So we have 1, 2, I can't see anything. Oh, we already made it a group. Okay, we're going to hide the group. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that is the way that we want it to trigger. So we have this group here right now, and I'm gonna, hold on. I'm going to undo this. Sorry, I did not mean it to make a group. Okay, we have all of these images selected, and I want to make it a multi-state object, which is essentially what we did. So I'm going to bring it right here, and I'm going to click on multiple states. Now it is just one state, just one object which has multiple states. So we have chair images right here. I can trigger these into displaying the information on the right. Okay, so we have 1. Now the state is not right, so I'm going to bring it up. This is the first state. We want it here. We want the second image here. This is a state 2. This is state 3 and 4. Okay, now I feel like this is perfect. Now what we're gonna do is create buttons for these images. So I'm gonna click this guy and double click into it, and then create a button. Okay, so I am in this, and then I can create a button. What is happening? What is up? I don't understand. Oh, yeah, okay. So I was double clicking into it. So we create a button here, and then I'm going to call it chair button 1. And then I want to trigger the first thing I want to do is create an action so that this gets the 100% opacity. The second thing I want to do is create this text, make this text appear. So there are 2 actions that I want to add, and both of these are multi-state objects that we created. So I'm going to go to state. The first thing is chair descriptions, and the first thing is lounge chair. The second thing I want to do is go to state again, and this time it's chair images, and then I want it to be state 4 for now, and that's it. Now I'm going to do this for all of these buttons really quickly. So I have this guy, I'm going to call it button, I'm going to call it chair button 2, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Go to state, go to chair descriptions. Oh. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to add this really quickly over here, and then go to chair images, add the second state, and then I'm going to do this for the third one as well. Go to button, go to change the name. It just makes everything super easy. And then I'm going to go to state. So I'm going to add the description here as well, molded plastic chair, and then I'm going to go to state again. And this time I want it to be more opacity again. So I'm going to select the state. And now this is the final one. Usually I find that whatever state you're on, it doesn't let you click on it. So I'm going to change the state, the active state, to be the first one. And then I'm going to click into it, call it a button, and then paste into it. 4, we have the action. Again, the same thing. We want the description to be triggered, which is the 4th state as well. And we want the image to be highlighted. So I'm going to select chair images here, select the last one, and yeah, now it should essentially work, right? So I'm going to hit Command Save and go to our EPUB interactivity preview. I've done this so fast that I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna see together. Okay, we're gonna see together if it works. Pray for me, you guys. All right, so looks like it might work. We have the first one selected, so lounge chair appears, and if you click on the second one, we have the gray upholstered chair. We have the third one, which is the molded plastic armchair, and of course the fourth one, which is the plastic side chair. So this is how you can create multiple states of the same object, and that's how it works. So I love that you can create this within, I don't know, 20 minutes is what we use to create this. And you can create this for as many things as you want. You can create more actions to the buttons as well. So if I have this button right here, you can go to actions and you can go to any of these. You can make a form out of it. You can make EPUB versions as well, and it clearly says over here that this is only for EPUB and publish online. So if I go to publish this online again, I'm gonna go to this guy and click on publish online to show you how this looks on a browser. We have the publish your document online dialog box right here. We have the title, we have everything description here. I'm gonna call it interactive version right here. You can add description here, and you can either go to publish new document or update existing document. I'm going to click on this and call it update existing document. So it updates everywhere all through across, right? I'm going to hit publish and it says, are you sure you want to update the existing link? I said, okay. So that remember when we added the button learn more in the initial few minutes of the stream, it's going to update the link there as well, which is why I use the updating link option. This is why you can just use it on the fly. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Stuart says this would be great for color selections and products, showing product in the text description, which then fires you off to the website. Exactly, Stuart. What I really wanted to do was essentially, I can just click on view document. What I really wanted to do was make like material swatches for like leather or like whatever material we have for our, like it's wood, the kind of wood, like there's teak, there's whatever 100 different kinds of wood, and use that, or like color swatches for a color book, and then trigger that to create something. All right, this is the web version, and I'm gonna click learn more just to see if it fires up the same file. And now I'm in the next link that was on the learn more button, right? And then we have this file, which is essentially the same. And now I'm gonna go and see if we have the chairs. It works, tada! And we have all of this information right here. And this is also the link that was updated and the learn more button. So that is pretty cool. I feel like that's pretty cool. We've really achieved some interactivity. We've made buttons, we've used hyperlinks, we've used the Adobe Capture plugin. We're creating all of this fun stuff. Now, the only thing left is I want to use the In5 plugin as well really quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this really super quick. And I'm just going to create like a vertical scroll option here, which I can do really easily with the In5 plugin. I also want to talk about like how you can add stuff. So maybe we can do that super quick. Okay, and then I'm going to press like a new layer here. I'm going to call it In5 demonstration. So I'm just going to call it In5 demo. Click OK, and we have everything here. Nima says, wow, this is awesome. Thank you for being here, Nima. And Penny says, yippee, you. All right. Nima says, is it also possible to change the opacity by hovering over the images? Yeah, so that's what we did. You can change how the button reacts. We have the button right here. You can change it on rollover. You can add a state of like opacity here. I'm gonna do that really quickly for you just because you asked in chat. Thank you so much for your question. I'm gonna click a new frame right here, and then I'm gonna go to my images panel right here. We have the chair scrolls. I'm gonna add it in the frame. Press shift option command C to frame it out, or you can click the content aware fit really quickly. Okay, all right, and we have this guy right here. Okay, you asked if I can create a button which can change opacity on rollover. By rollover you mean you just like hover on it and it changes color. So we have this guy, which is essentially just a rectangular frame with image. I'm gonna create a new button and call it rollover demo. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on this is the normal state. I'm gonna make the opacity for the normal state to be 50%, and then I'm gonna go here and make the rollover state active, and then I'm gonna go over and change the opacity to be 100. Go back to normal, go back to rollover, normal, rollover, right? And so this is what it does. And then I'm going to trigger go to state really quickly. There's no multi-state object for this button, so it's not going to do anything, but I can go to a URL. So let's go to URL right here and add a URL. So I'm just going to say my website really quick, and that's it. So it should essentially work. And now I'm going to go to my EPUB preview, go to interactive, EPUB interactive preview really quick, and then go over and it's going to trigger my website. There you go. And that's my website. So on button click, it triggered the function, and it had, obviously this had, I did not click on hidden triggered, which is why it shows the default button here. But let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and call it this. Okay. I hope that answers your question though. All right, let's see. Carol says you can make QR codes right in InDesign. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We're gonna learn how to make QR codes maybe next time or the time after that. Okay. Tim says, so was it Command C or Command D? Or of course Command S. Hey Tim, welcome on in. How are you? What's up? Thank you for joining. All right, so this is how you can create rollover images. You can see this better here because there are multiple objects. Since this is only one image, you can't see the rollover option. But if I go ahead and make something really quickly here with the second frame, that's gonna work out. But I really wanna make a vertical scrolling frame using the Int5 plugin. So what I'm gonna do is create vertical frames here. So I'm gonna create a frame this size, and then I'm gonna add like 3 images for our time purposes. And I can also create one big frame. So I'm gonna press F on my keyboard for the frame tool and then call it frame. Okay, so I'm gonna send it to back, and I have these 3 frames right here. I'm gonna add some images to these frames. So I have image 1, I have image 2, I have image 3 right here, and then I'm gonna press content aware fit super quickly. We have this guy here, and this guy here. Just gonna check if there are any questions. Okay, Nima says, yes, it did. Thanks for the explanation. No worries. Thank you so much for asking the question. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube or on Behance, thank you for being here. And don't forget, if you're watching this on replay, make sure to ask your questions in the comment section, or you can also reach out to me at my website or on my Instagram, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. You can also send me requests for any of the future InDesign streams that you would like to see. So if you have any comments or requests, any design requests, stream requests, let me know, because all through till November I'm going to be streaming here live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you have any requests, send them over and I'll be happy to include all of those. Okay, let's jump into here and see what we have. Okay, cool. Now we have these images, okay, and I'm just gonna bring this in, center it out just a little bit, and I want to create this into a frame that is vertical scrolling. Okay, so you can use vertical scrolling in an EPUB. I have these 3 frames and I can bring it on the side, and I have a big frame as a container. So I want the bigger frame to be essentially having the scrolling functionality, and these 3 images, which are image frames now, to be inside that frame. So it's like a nested frame here. So it's like a layer within a layer. It's a frameception happening. So we have these 3. I'm gonna hit command. I'm gonna hold on. Where is this? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select these 3. Okay. Hold on. What's happening? I'm just checking my stream things. What? Okay. Cool. I thought I was losing internet. Okay, so we have these 3 right here. What I'm gonna do is make a group of this because I want this group to be inside the frame. I'm gonna hit command G, and then I can cut these images. So I'm gonna press command X, and what I want to do is paste into the container. So I'm gonna right click and click paste into, which is gonna paste these groups inside the frame, right? So this is essentially where I want the vertical frame to be. Now, I don't know if these are aligned properly or not, but I do know because I created it from the rectangular frame. So it saves you a step where you need to align everything horizontally or distribute everything equally, and you can't do that here because it's already aligned. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat really quickly to see if we have any questions. Clever says, really cool stuff. I have to watch this again. Thank you so much. Steve agrees, says for sure. Thank you, Cody, for sharing my Behance. We have Rob saying, whoa, you covered so much so far. Don't forget to take a deep breath. Yeah, don't forget to drink, stretch, and save. Absolutely. Yeah, we are short on time. I'm trying to, really do this super quickly. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to make a frame for this. I'm going to select this guy and go to Int5 super quick and go to interactive widgets. And the Int5 plugin, we talked about how you can get it, but for anyone who's just joining in, I am going to show you how you can get the Int5 plugin again, because we are talking Int5 now. So you go to window and click on find extensions on Exchange. It's going to bring this really cool Adobe website where you can find all the plugins. So you can also find this in your Creative Cloud desktop app, but over here you can select plugins from the top, and you can select the product you want the plugin for. We are working in InDesign. I select InDesign right here. These are all the plugins that are available for InDesign, also for other applications. But you can also go ahead and search with the keyword. So I write N5, which essentially lets you export your design with like full interactivity. So if you're exporting it for EPUB, or if you're exporting it for publishing online, this is what you want to use. All right, so this is how you can get it. This is essentially the link for it. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can put it in chat really quickly. Hold on a second, so that you guys can literally just click on it and you will be able to find it before we jump into it. All right, hold on, I'm gonna do this super quickly. We have some stuff here. I'm gonna paste it. There you go. We have the N5 link in chat. So if you want to download it for your InDesign, make sure to click on it and download it for your EPUB. For your InDesign, sorry. We have this frame, right? It contains all of the images. Now, it's not triggering anything right now, but you can create an enlarged view of the image, and then maybe something like this, which is triggering all the information here. But what we want to do is create a vertical scrolling for this. This doesn't have more frames off to the off side to the page, so you won't be able to see the fourth image. But we can go to N5, go to interactive widgets, and create something like a scrolling frame. The scrolling frame is part of the free basic model in their subscription. So you go to basic and you click on scrolling frames, and this pops up this fun little dialog box which gives you the scroll direction and also the scroll indicators. So what you can do is click on auto detect, or horizontal or vertical or both, right? In this case, I just think we need vertical, but I'm gonna click auto detect to see what happens. I do want the scroll indicators. I'm just gonna click OK. And how do I see if it's working, right? I'm gonna hit Command Save before we do that. I'm gonna go to Window, Interactive again, and go to EPUB Interactivity Preview. So what this does is brings this option, and it is not working. Did something wrong there. Oh no. All right. I think it is not scrolling because of the fact that there are no extra images. I'm gonna undo really quickly so that there's something to scroll. You know, you need something to scroll. I'm gonna hit undo really quick, and then I'm gonna hit undo a bunch of times just because I want more frames. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's do this really quickly. Oh, I should have made 4 images. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna add 4 images. Okay, let's add one more. Yeah, let's do it like this so we can still see it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click my images in here, bring it in here. Hello, where are the images? Is it time already, Bliss? What? We have 4 minutes. We have 4 minutes, Bliss. Hold on. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna leave it be for now, and then I'm gonna group this. I'm gonna cut this. Actually, I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna make it bigger, and then I'm gonna cut this, and then I'm gonna paste into it. So I'm gonna paste into this guy, and then I want it to be a scrollable frame. So I go to Window, I go to View. I'm going to I'm going to N5, go to Interactive Widgets, and go to Scrolling Frames again. And this time I click Auto Detect again, and that's it. Okay, now it should work. I'm going to go to Window and go to Interactive and go to EPUB Interactivity Preview, and now it should work essentially. There you go. That's the fourth image that we had. There was nothing to scroll because there was nothing to scroll. That's why it wasn't working. But now we have 4 images, which is off to the page or the layout, which is why you can see the scrolling working here. This is vertical scrolling for you. You can also add horizontal scrolling, which is super, super fun. But thank you so much for joining me all today. We learned so much in less than 1 hour. Thank you for being here. I love that you were here. We learned how to create buttons. We learned how to create hyperlinks. We learned how to create hyperlinks in 2 ways. We added it on a button with all the design and all the consistency we wanted. We used the Adobe Capture plugin to capture color themes and shapes, vector shapes, which was super, super cool. We also used multiple state objects. We created buttons to trigger those multiple state objects. We did not add any animation, but I think we're going to add that the next time. So it's going to be a fun one. I love that we have so many friends in chat saying thank you. Bliss says thanks. Stuart says go, go, go. You can do it. Joshua says time flies. Love it. Thank you all for being here. This was super fun. I love that you all joined for episode 2 of Let's InDesign. Don't wait. We have more stuff coming up. We have the XDDCC coming up next, but I will be back next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to create a cookbook layout. Isn't that fun? We're going to use some animation and even video embeds. So make sure to stick around for the fun stuff today, but come back next week with me, Anika, your host for Let's InDesign, and we're going to create a cookbook. Maybe you get some secret recipes. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a good one. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Don't forget to save. Okay, don't forget to save. All right, bye for now.